So far on this trip to Bali, we've toured a cave that no one has ever filmed in before, and we've also toured the Bali Reptile Park. Well, now we are going deep inside an abandoned amusement park that's been abandoned on the shore of whatever shore this is in Bali. Oh, another snake. Oh, that's a white-lipped viper. I almost stepped there too. Whoa, 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 whoa! Where are you going, buddy? Look at this retic. Because, as we all know, abandoned places like this are reptile magnets.
I'm Dave Kaufman, and these are my reptile adventures.
Rainbow Mealworms is not only a proud sponsor of this channel, they are the premier source for all your reptile food needs. They grow all of their quality insects in-house, and I use them exclusively for all my insect-eating reptiles. So place your order today at rainbowmealworms.net or click the link in the description below. This particular amusement park closed in 1997 and it's been sitting abandoned and dilapidated ever since. There used to be a zoo that was attached to this amusement park and that's abandoned as well. So Adam Wickens from Wickens Wicked Reptiles and Ayala Naro from the Bali Reptile Rescue and I are going to check out this abandoned amusement park and zoo that nature is reclaiming and see what kind of reptiles and amphibians we can find here.
Just sleep in here. I found boitas there.
But at night, primarily?
Yeah.
What do you find during the day?
I've never been here during the day.
Oh, well. What do we got in here? Do we have...
Why don't you swim and find out?
That's a good idea.
You tell me.
Look at all these antlions here.
I'm not sure what this used to be, but I'm pretty sure this is just because of the rain, so the water get caught up here.
Gotcha. Well, I see the stairs that go down there. So, yeah, this is a whole nother room, and look at this. This is what happens when nature retakes something that humans have built. Look at this. It turned into a completely artificial pond. Those are huge lily pads in there. There's another pond area. Look at this. So the rains just filled in this room that crumbled and formed another pond. That is just cool. There's something swimming around in there. So guys, I knew that when I saw this water over here, I knew that something was living in it, and sure enough, we found a couple of baby water monitors. And if these are babies here, that means there's adults here, they're laying eggs here, they're breeding here, and these babies are being born here in this abandoned amusement park, and they're taking full advantage of this water source, and this makes a perfect habitat for these urban lizards. This is really an urban dinosaur. But, you know, I found water monitors in Thailand, and they look a little bit different down here in Indonesia than they do up in Thailand. So there is geographic diversity to Asian water monitors. This one is a lot more contrasty. This one has a lot more brighter colors than the ones that we were finding up in Thailand. But this guy's getting just a little bit surly and I don't want to stress him out, so I'm going to let him go right back in this pond over here, and hopefully he's going to live a long, happy life here in this abandoned amusement park. What an amazing find. All right, little dude, it's kind of a little drop, but I'm gonna release you right here. You ready? Off you go. Oh, he just took a dive. He had had enough of me. Look at this. There are snakes here. How cool is that? That is really awesome. The Viper gang, I wonder what that's all about. But they're laughing. So they're having a good time. You know, which is nice. Wow. So this looks like it would have been another enclosure. So obviously we're in the zoo part of the amusement park. Oh, look at this. This is cool. Listen to that. Can you hear the jungle drums off in the distance? I think those are headhunters.
This one was the one that used to be the crocodile enclosure.
Oh, this was the crocodile enclosure. Would this have been open or would this have been glass here? I don't see any broken glass, so this may have just remained open like this, open air. But look at this. This used to be the crocodile enclosure. They had this whole big pond, which I'm sure was not this overgrown back then. And this is where you could stand and overlook and see all the crocodiles down there. This would have been something cool to see in its day. find?
Other snake.
Dude, that is a Malayan crate, sometimes known as Malaysian crates.
And this is the first one I've ever seen in the wild. And the ones that we were finding in northern Thailand a few years ago, those are banded crates, totally different species. But crates are elapids. They're related to cobras, and their venom is almost just as potent as a cobra. And if you get bit by this little guy, it actually could be fatal. These are not a snake to mess around with out here. And there's a lot of black snakes out here, and a lot of people get bit because of mistaken identity. They misidentify this snake as a wolf snake or another type of snake out here. And there's a lot of snakes that are uniform black out here. And the reason why is because if you're uniform black, you can better absorb the heat radiating from the sun than you can if you were a white or a light colored snake. You'd reflect it in that case. So there's a lot of black snakes out here, and a lot of people get bit due, again, to mistaken identity. They don't realize that this is, in fact, one of the most venomous snakes found here in Bali.
Look at this, guys. Look at this. This is not another crate. This is one of the... Hi, buddy. Yeah, you just saw me. This is one of the coolest little snakes. Oh, he's getting certainly... Come here. Look at this dude. So this is not a venomous snake. This is actually a wolf snake. Here, I'm gonna bring him into a little bit better light over here.
So I got him into the light over here so we could take a better look at him. Now, these guys have the coolest Latin name. The genus name is Lycodon, and if that sounds like a werewolf, well, you're right. This is actually a wolf snake. And these guys are little active colubrids out here. They're non-venomous, but they can, some people say they're rear-fanged, mildly venomous, but that's kind of like a hognose snake with these guys. And these guys are native to not only here in Indonesia, but wolf snakes are native all over Southeast Asia and into other parts of Asia. They're a widespread genus, but this species here in Indonesia is just uniform brown. And frankly, they're not all that pretty a snake. But man, I really love wolf snakes. They are just such an interesting little snake. And they've got these flat little heads that is kind of unique to wolf snakes. And to be honest, I'm not sure where the name wolf snake actually comes from. If you know where the name wolf snake comes from, leave a comment below and let us know, because frankly, I'd really like to know where that name comes from. But this guy is super cool. Adam is right there waiting for his turn to film, so I'm going to hand this over to Adam. He's going to film it, but I'll tell you, it's getting to be about golden hour, and that's when a lot of snakes are coming out. So right now we're going to go find some food, and then tonight we're going to get back out there and we're going to continue herping. Hey, you're a little far from Africa there, buddy. Look at this. These are the giant snails that we were finding in Africa, and these are invasive here. And this is why they're illegal everywhere. All right, you go back and be invasive there, buddy. All right, we got a snake here. What do we got?
Bronzeback.
Oh, it's a little bronzeback. Look at that. Whoa. Come here, buddy. Look at this. Settle down there, Junior.
Oh, look, what's this right here?
Oh, another snake.
Viper.
Oh, that's a white-lipped viper. I almost stepped there too. So I have this bronzeback, and there's a white-lipped viper right there at the base of this rock I'm standing on. That is truly insane. Look at that. All right, so have a look at this. This is the only Timorensis on the island of Bali. This is an island white-lipped viper. And if you notice that red tail right there, that is what's called a caudal lure. What this snake is doing is he's making a good living out here eating amphibians, mostly frogs. And so his entire body is green, which makes him disappear in the grass. But that red tail, he will wiggle, and what that looks like to a frog is that is a worm. Frog comes up, takes a bite of the worm. This guy takes a bite of the frog and gets a meal. Now, these guys are venomous. They are pit vipers, but the venom is not as bad as other pit vipers. So if A human gets bit by this guy, the chances of a human dying from this are pretty slim. You're gonna get a nice little rash, you're gonna feel some pain.
This is one of my target species, and what you're saying about the luring with the tail is it's almost kind of like an alligator snapping turtle with the tongue.
Exactly correct.
Except for if you get bit by this, it's gonna, well, maybe not take a piece of you, but it's gonna take a piece of your soul because it's gonna be a very uncomfortable next few days.
That is absolutely correct. But look at how well he's sitting there. And basically what he's doing is, this is part of his defense. He's letting that green camouflage hopefully blend him into his surroundings. Obviously it's not working here on the road, but if he was in the grass, he would almost perfectly disappear in that grass.
You almost stepped on him.
I almost stepped on him, absolutely. I was just about to film a bronzeback snake, which I will, and this guy was crawling not 2 inches from me, never even saw him in the grass. Perfect little snake with perfect little camouflage. All right, so this is the little guy that took a chomp out of me while we were trying to film that pit viper. This is a bronzeback. This is one of the most common snakes that you will find in Bali. And you can see why they're called bronzebacks. They have these really awesome bronze backs. That's really good dialogue, isn't it, Adam?
Amazing.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
That was the best explanation of any species I've ever heard.
Thank you.
You should describe your own species.
I should. Big, hairy, sometimes stinky.
Oh, that's a Dave Kaufman.
That's right. But look at those eyes. This guy is in shed and he still has those really rich bronze colors to him, even in shed. But these guys are lizard eaters out here. They're not venomous. But again, this is a bronzeback snake. These are really common, not only here in Indonesia, but up into Thailand and across Southeast Asia. Really cool snakes. This is the never get skunk snake out here. All right, then over here, I think they just called out and said that they have a vine snake.
Oh, look at the size of that.
Oh, look at that chubster. That is a huge vine snake. All right, Adam, you want to do the honors of getting him down?
Go ahead for it. Yeah, I'm going to do that, Dave. Yeah, you got it.
They're just mildly venomous.
Well, also, I'm tall enough to do it, too.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm going in. All right, guys, so right up in this tree, as we just said, is this huge vine snake, and I've got to get him out of there to take a look at him. Vine snakes are mildly venomous, but I'm not really too concerned about being bit, but I'm concerned about him tangling and us not being able to get him out. So let's just do this gently so that he doesn't think that he's being caught. He's going that way. So this is his tail, and just like that, I slip in the mud, but we get him out. And look at that. Look at that pointed head and those eyes that kind of protrude from the face like that. So it's believed in some cultures where this is native to, look at that defense, that this snake will stare at you and basically hypnotize you. And if you look at those eyes, you can see exactly where that myth comes from. But these guys are perfectly suited to living in these trees like this, and this guy completely disappeared in those trees. As a matter of fact, if one of us hadn't spotted this snake, the chances of all of us walking by this snake without ever seeing it was probably pretty good. All right, so have a look at this dude. I was super excited to find this guy. So this is a striped keelback snake, and this is, well, think of these as Indonesia's garter snakes. And as a matter of fact, way back when, you could get these and they were called Indonesian garter snakes. And I had a pair of these way back when, and I absolutely loved them. And I looked through all the research to find out where Indonesian garter snakes came from, because I had never heard of Indonesian garter snakes or garter snakes being found in Indonesia. But what they really were this guy, the striped keelback snake, which has the same habits, same habitats as garter snakes, has the same diet as garter snakes. But man, obviously this is my first one that I've seen in the wild, because this is my first time in Indonesia. But I am so excited to find this guy, simply because I used to work with these, and now to be here in Indonesia and actually see my very first Indonesian garter snake, which is really a striped keelback snake. I may be more excited about finding this than I was about finding that white-lipped pit viper. This is such an awesome find, and this really takes me back to those early days when I was just getting started with reptiles. So just as we're sitting here talking about the diversity of species that can be found out here, we just found this guy. And this is one of the Boega species that are out here. They're called cat snakes, but this one is actually a dog-tooth cat snake. And it, again, is one of the Boegas that's out here. It's mildly venomous, rear-fanged, but they're not aggressive at all. He's just completely chilling out. These guys are lizard eaters, and they're also arboreal. And like those vine snakes that we saw earlier, these guys have the exact same habits as vine snakes. They will go up in the trees, they will use their cryptic coloration as camouflage, and they will stalk lizards and frogs to eat. And this is an adult. Unfortunately, this one is also in shed. But if you look at that pattern, you can see why these are called dog-tooth cat snakes, because they have those little bars that, well, I guess somebody thought looked like dog teeth. But we all know the mangrove snakes. Those are also Boega, and this guy is related to those mangrove snakes that we all know and love. But already you can see on my thumb that he's left me a little present there, which is totally fine. I'll wipe it on Adam.
You get chocolates here?
Yeah, it's chocolate, Adam. Come and, you know, prove me wrong by licking that. But yeah, he's already pooped on me, which is a sign of affection for snakes. But man, these are just awesome snakes, and unfortunately he's in shed, so his colors are really dull right now. But still, such an amazing snake. Whoa, 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 whoa! Where are you going, buddy? Look at this retic! Come here, sweetheart. Come here. Where are you going? Oh man, I have no hooks. I have no way to corral this snake. Look at how big and girthy she is. Where are you going? Come here, buddy. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Let's get you out of there. Come on. Guys, retic! Look at this beautiful snake. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy, 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 easy.
Look at this thing too. Look, it's such a healthy looking snake.
Dude,
yeah.
Careful, careful, careful. All right, yep. You look at Adam over there. There you go. Yep, give him your Jurassic Park. Whoa!
Well, it's because of those pits and you can sense the heat, right?
That's right. That's right. You look just like, what's his face in Jurassic Park?
Yeah, the good looking one.
Yeah, what's his name?
Adam Wickens.
Adam Wickens. But look at this. Okay, I'm gonna actually just let his tail go and see if he just sits here. There you go. Oh my God, look at that. That is a perfect pose. Man, we are finding tons of retics out here. They are extremely common. Look at this beauty.
What we've got here is a retic. Dave was just walking through.
Whoa!
And that's the thing with reticulated pythons, is these animals, although they look like they're far away from you, they're long. This is the longest snake in the entire world. This is the exact same snake that we found in that cave. The only difference is this thing is 2 feet away from me. And if he wants to strike me, he can. So I have to be ready to move back. And these animals, although they are not venomous, they are going to be able to lacerate you because their teeth are not shaped like Burmese python teeth. Although you can find berms on this island, the reticulated pythons are going to be more arboreal, they're going to be more slender, they come in a bunch of different morphs in captivity, but in the wild, they have one of the coolest colorations, the coolest patterns, and their teeth are triangular shaped, which means if you don't go with the bite, they will rip your flesh and it's going to be a bad time. This animal does not want to hurt me, it just does not want to get hurt. And because I am posing as a threat to it, it is posing as a threat to me, and it's working. Because I do not want to get bit by this guy, and he does not want to get eaten by me.
Dude, you did that so perfectly, I don't even need to do mine. I'll just use what I just filmed of you in my video.
We'll just lower it so there's a little bit more bass in the voice.
Yeah. All right, so what Adam said about this guy is absolutely 100% correct. But the coloration of these pythons here in Indonesia are so much different than they are in Thailand, where I've seen my other wild retics in the wild. Wild retics in the wild.
Sounded good.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm gonna run with it. But these guys have much more yellow heads than the ones that I saw in Thailand, and they have much more really amazing coloration. In the video that I shot in the cave, I was talking about how these guys have really amazing and beautiful silver gray kind of shark teeth pattern going up the sides of their bodies. And stop it, that was not friendly. But these guys have a lot more yellows, a lot more golds, and their heads are these really awesome gold coloration. But I'm not gonna let him sit out here in the road. He was crawling up that wall. Stop it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this tiny little hook and corral his head. But I just wanted to let him go to give perspective on how amazingly big, beautiful, and healthy this python is. This is just absolutely amazing. And he's gonna calm right down, aren't you? But I'm just gonna let him go right back in these bushes where he was. There you go, buddy. Off you go. So fantastic. But I'll tell you, I've only found reticulated pythons in Thailand before, and they're huge in Thailand, but I've never seen the amount that we've seen so far here in Bali. This may have been like the 15th, maybe 14th or 15th reticulated python that we found. I did not realize just how common these reticulated pythons are here in Bali. This is awesome. So, what do you think of Bali so far?
This is the most magical place on earth.
I couldn't agree more. We haven't been here for very long yet, and like I said, this has lived up to all the magic I hoped it would be. We found so many species so far. Man, this is awesome. So, Adam filmed for his channel. Link is in the description below. If you haven't subscribed to Wiccan's Wicked Reptiles, get over there, subscribe to Adam's channel. It's basically the same thing I've filmed here.
Also, if you haven't already, subscribe to Dave Kaufman's Adventures, Dave Kaufman's Strange Adventures, Dave Kaufman's Fishing Adventures, Dave Kaufman's Basket Weaving Adventures, Dave Kaufman's Sleeping on Planes for 14 Hours Adventures. Yep. Please subscribe to all 78 of his channel.
Exactly, especially Strange Adventures. That's my brand new channel. I'm filming a lot of content for that out here in Bali. And guys, real quick, I just want to give a real quick shout out and a thank you to all my Patreon supporters. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter and help support this channel, that link is in the description below. Go check it out. You'll get early access, rattle-on swag, a lot of cool stuff over there. Go check out Patreon. I also want to give a real quick shout out and a thank you to Bali Reptile Rescue. These guys are guiding us out here. These guys are absolutely awesome. They have really put us on the reptiles out here. So thank you to Bali Reptile Rescue. And guys, as always, thanks for watching. And until the next reptile adventure, love the planet, feed your reptile obsession, and rattle on!